Good morning. Hey, happy Sunday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 839, I believe. We're cruising. Episode 1000 going to be coming up later this year. We did the math. What's it going to be? I think September. There could be several days in the next few months where there isn't a Hobby Evolution, just with the move and all that stuff. So next weekend, I will be off from Hobby Evolution both Saturday and Sunday. So I'll be heading back to my mom's, but I'm going to bring my laptop and my camera. Maybe we'll try to get mom on for a Q&A either Friday night or Saturday night. Talk to my buddy Kyle. I'm meeting him. I've got some NASCAR cards. We're going to meet at Jennings Card Shop in Freeport on my drive home. So looking forward to that. Did a lot of I am like physically exhausted from yesterday. We got a foot of snow, and it was wet and heavy. Ugh. So I snowblowed. Guess what? Breaking news. And my snowblower out. Next door neighbor, Frank, his garage door. I haven't talked to Frank like all winter. Our for sale sign went up. Frank didn't know that we would be moving. So Frank was doing the sidewalk, and he came up and he goes, "Are you moving?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "I saw that sign go up. I was shocked." So I told him what we were doing. And then he dropped a bombshell on me. Frank is thinking about moving. Maybe it's because he's leery about the new neighbors and they won't make him tomatoes out of the garden. I don't know. So Frank is looking at moving himself. So that's the big news. I'll keep you posted. So yeah, that was the big news yesterday. What else happened? So organized. So it did that, backbreaking snow. And then I had to get the unfinished storage area. And it was funny. I tweeted out, and I took the photo before I took the shelving down yesterday. And I had a shelf unit, one of these cheapo plastic shelves with some boxes in the bathroom down here, which was actually my wife's idea. So the reason there were, for a short period of time, there was baseball cards in my bathroom was because I essentially ran out of space, and I had boxes out in my rec room, which I need to get everything in order. In the unfinished area, I had overflowing shelves of bulk that I was selling, and so I didn't get rid of that stuff until Friday. So once I made that sale on Friday and took those cards out, I had room in the unfinished area to get the baseball cards out of the bathroom into the unfinished area. Fit like a nice little puzzle. And so I was moving all that. But it was funny. I tweeted that out. I'm like, how many cards is too many cards? And about 50% of the people that commented on the tweet didn't get it. That's not that many cards. Well, did you see what was in the foreground? It's not the amount of cards, it's where they are located. So half of the people that viewed the tweet, they got it. The other half, oh, that's not that many cards. No, it's not. It's where they were located. So so the cards are out of the bathroom. Unfinished area is all. The only thing left I need to get tidied up is this room. My desk is just a disaster. I've got all of these labels on the floor that I've got to throw away. So my wife staged my basement rec room. So I had to bring back. I boxed up all of my bobbleheads, put them in storage, and she's like, "I need some bobbleheads." She needed 20. Like, geez, I should have just left them all. We should have just done this exercise all together because now I have to, the great bobblehead unboxing of 2023. So the bobbleheads are out on display, a select few or 20. And then what else? Just kind of rearranged some of the other stuff that I had out. So I think photos are being taken tomorrow. So we had carpet cleaning on Thursday. Tomorrow, photos. Tuesday, the window washers are coming. And then showings are this next weekend. So that's why I'm going out of town. So that's what I did yesterday. I also, where's Uncle Rich? I've got some food. Oh, he's here. I've got some food talk that I want to get to. Let's say hello to the chat. Todd, what's happening? Terry, good morning. Scotty Dubs in the house. There's Kyle. What's happening? Justin Hirsch, what is up? Sunday Funday. It is going to be a Sunday Funday. It's going to be shipping and listing. That's what I wanted to do yesterday, shipping and listing and shipping. But I had to shovel snow and clean. Shoveling snow and cleaning and shoveling snow. And I did some shipping. And then we visited some friends last night. So that's where the food talk comes in. Victor, what's up? Good morning to you. The curmudgeon's here. What's up? Uncle Rich says, I have the most important question of the day. Every dog has her own human. The question is Biscuit's human you or your wife? That's a really good question because it's actually, since I started working from home, it's kind of leaning towards me. And my wife even acknowledges the fact, like, Biscuit is my wife's baby. But I'm always home shipping and listing and shipping. And so I am Biscuit's personal play toy because I take Biscuit for walks. I play with Biscuit in the backyard, and my wife's selling real estate. And, she's off to showings, and I'm listing and shipping and listing. So it's kind of like it used to be like I was chopped liver. But now that, and I feed Biscuit and give Biscuit treats. Yesterday, she loves popcorn. So she had some of my popcorn. She loves cheese and she loves beef jerky. So, yeah, it's kind of transitioned to I am Biscuit's human now because I'm just always around. But she's still a mommy's girl. Frank needs to move next door to you. I know. Then he can have the tomatoes. Let's see. I would say he could move into one of the. No, I don't want anybody moving into my house. Kyle says maybe Frank will move next to the new house. Let's see. Paul Heath, what's up? Red Light 34. Good morning to you. We've got Harlan in the house. Chris in Corvallis. Good early morning from the West Coast. It's dark and 30 degrees. Isn't it always dark and rainy in Oregon? Let's see. Well, you have to store them where you have to. Now my wife would have not been cool with it, right? My wife was like, it was her idea of putting cards in the bathroom for temporarily. She's like, you do know this is only temporary and those have to go before the showings. But it was her idea because I was just like, I think she felt the stress of what am I going to do with these cards? Where am I going to put them? All that. Brian, what's up? Dude, that SGC hat is pretty sweet. Been seeing you wear it a bunch now, like a tux for your head. I know. The reason I've been wearing a lot lately is because I need a haircut. So my hair's a little longer. It's also the weekend, so I don't like comb my hair on the weekend. But yeah, I do. I love this hat. I'm going to have to hit him up for a new one this summer at the National. Tracy, good morning, because I wear it so much. Jenny, what's up? Sunny and not snowy Minnesota. That's good. I think it's sunny here. It's only 22 degrees, but we're going to be in the 40s, so more of that snow will melt. That's good. Good morning, Cooter. You will have to post the link to Zillow so we can see the staged rec room. We only know it covered in cards. I can just I can just take a photo like right now. Or I could, well, the camera's plugged in. I guess I couldn't do that. It does. Here's the thing. It doesn't look much different staged than what it was. The only thing, it's not as cluttered. And I don't like cluttered man caves / rec rooms. I think that's why I like 73 Tops. It's simple. The only thing, I've got this like magazine rack that's next to one of my floating shelves that I just throw like Cubs magazines and like random shit, right? So I took that out. My other shelf, the shelf that it's next to, had a lot of like tchotchkes, a lot of like signed baseballs and pictures, and what else was there? I thought she would like take like my Hank Sauer game used cleats from the 1950s that are just old and haggard. I'm like, she's not going to want that, but she kept those. So that's on the bottom shelf. I've got my Cubs World Series champion sign on one shelf. Then I've got my Rose Bowl football, and then my signed Wisconsin Badger basketball on the top shelf. And then my bobblehead shelf, instead of having like 50 bobbleheads on those floating shelves, there's like 4 or 5 per shelf. And then there's like no cards on the coffee table. There's like Cubs coffee table books. We took out the personal, like I had some personal photos of like me and Cubs. So those went down. So it kind of looks the same. It's just less cluttered. So that makes any sense. Chris has his fantasy baseball draft in an hour. Ooh, I do want to touch on fantasy baseball. My homework consisted of 5 minutes of writing down the players the top teams had last year. There you go. So speaking of fantasy baseball, my buddy Ben sent me a text last night. We went to some friend's house, and so I wasn't like zombified in my phone wasn't like glued to my hand like Twitter, Facebook. So we were driving home, and my buddy Ben texted me, and he's like, what was the text? Like, I didn't understand the text, and I'm like, what happened? Where we at? Ben. So his text was simply Jordan Walker, ! So my buddy Ben's a huge Cardinals fan. I'm a huge Jordan Walker fan because he's one of my dynasty keepers in Ben's in my fantasy baseball league. Jordan Walker's, we get to keep 2 minor league players, but as soon as they get put on the opening day I think they have to have an at bat. So technically I didn't have to make the move, but I did make the move last night. So I said, what happened? I just sold a few cards on eBay. So at the same time I get that notification, I had sold a couple Jordan Walker cards on eBay. So I'm like, something's going on. Did he hit like 3 home runs in a spring training game? No. Jordan Walker made the St. Louis Cardinals opening day roster, 20 years old. I'm torn because I have a lot of Jordan Walker baseball cards that now I'll be digging out to put on eBay because they'll be hot. He's also on my fantasy baseball team. However, he plays for the most hated team in all of sports, the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm torn, but for now, we'll root for Jordan Walker. So in a corresponding move, I dropped, I think, Brian De La Cruz, who has like pretty weak fantasy ramifications. So I dropped Brian De La Cruz. Jordan Walker has been promoted to my active roster. And in a corresponding move, my new prospect keeper is from another team I despise, the Milwaukee Brewers, Sal Frelick. So I went through I went through just some websites looking at top prospects. So there's 12 teams, so 11 other teams in the league, times 2. There's 22. So basically like the top 20 prospects are already in keepers. Frelick was one of, there were a couple guys in like the top 25 of different prospect lists that were not there. So now my 2 minor league keepers are Christian Encarnacion Strand. He had a huge spring. I'm hearing rave reviews about him. He's a red. He's a big time hitter. And guess what? Great American Ballpark is a great hitter's ballpark. So I like that for Christian Encarnacion Strand. He's one of my minor league keepers. And now Sal Frelick is another one since Jordan Walker got the call. I went, when we started this, I kind of went guys that may be a couple of years away. But then I've kind of adjusted that strategy to where I want to try to get guys that are still top prospects, but they're a little closer to the big leagues. So I was actually torn between being a homer and my best buddy, my nemesis, my best buddy / nemesis, Pete Crow Armstrong. I almost pulled the trigger and went with PCA as my other minor league keeper. But he's likely going to be, he spent a lot of time with AAA in spring training, but a lot of times when teams break off into camps, minor league camps, they typically play up a level. So PCA spent a lot of time with AAA, but he's probably going to be slotted in at AA. But he could. I would not be surprised if Pete Crow Armstrong makes his debut this year, second half after the All-Star break. We'll see. So that was my fantasy baseball excitement last night. Let's see, where are we at? Victor says, Rhino and Charlie love popcorn and fries. I have not, I guess I don't eat fries at home too much, but I always snack on popcorn. Biscuit's a big popcorn lover. Merle, what's up? Let's see, it's a Sunday fun day. Tracy says, not going to the National, but found out wife is planning a trip for us to Dallas and Houston the week before so we can take in games at Rangers and Astros. Our goal is to hit every stadium. Very cool. Very cool. I've only done 6 stadiums, I think. I've done Pittsburgh, but not for a game. I've done the stadium tour. Pittsburgh, both Chicago's, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Oakland. So those are the only 6 stadiums I've been to. I'm trying to think if I've been to any other stadiums. I don't think so. Those are the only stadiums I've stepped foot in. Let's see. Hall of Fame card collector, what's up? Good morning to you. I'm watching this while doing homework. Oh, man, that's giving me nightmares, giving me flashbacks. Mookie Chilson, cardboard in the powder room. Perfect for some light reading. I know, right? You just pull off a box and do some sorting. Hot Guy Shino, what's up? Good morning to you. On my way to Appleton. Awesome. Good luck in Appleton. My card show schedule as we approach April 8th, I'll be set up at the Rockford Card Show. I'll have, I guess it'll be new for there'll be a lot of new stuff for Rockford. But a majority was seen in Madison at the March Madison Card Show. So April 8th in Rockford. And I'll have supplies. I'll have penny sleeves, top loaders, and card savers. April 23rd, which is a Sunday, I'll be set up in Janesville. And then April 29th is the next Madison Card Show. And I do plan on setting up again. I had a great day in March at the Madison Card Show. My best card show ever as a dealer was the March Madison Card Show. So I'm going to run it back. We're going to run it back. Chris says, we like to say that our summers are beautiful. We get sunny and warm days and little to no rain from mid-June through the end of September. So I guess it's kind of, so every region has it's like, oh, it's always this or that. Like Wisconsin, you think, oh, it's always snowy, as I shoveled a freaking foot of snow yesterday. But between the end of May and the end of September, it's beautiful. It's like the perfect weather. But we only get like 3 to 4 months of it. Jenny says, I love that you don't like clutter with your background, right? I know. Card room, I'm okay with clutter. I thrive in this madness. But in my rec room, I feel more like I just feel like I don't have like anxiety if my rec room, like I just feel like I'm being more productive. And I think when everything's clutter around me, this room excluded, that I'm more productive in getting things. I've been very productive this week. Like I'm keeping up. I have over 70 items to ship right now. But that's because I was doing a lot of stuff yesterday. I wasn't like committed to shipping yesterday. I was committed to frickin' shoveling a foot of snow and then moving boxes around. And then we went visit friends last night. So it was kind of like a day off. So today I'll get back on it, get caught up so I can hammer down some listings tomorrow. Kyle says, Sal Frelick, Andrew Painter, and Andy Rodriguez have been selling well for me on eBay. Selling 2021 Bowmans are giving me extra cash for NASCAR. Love it. Yeah, those guys. And I'm surprised with Andrew Painter because he's Painter's a pitcher. But yeah, he sells really well for me as also. Mookie says, opposite of Jordan Walker, I'm totally bummed. Mets sent Brett Beatty down to AAA. Randy's going to the National. Can't wait. It'll be great. I love the National. If it's in Chicago, I love it if it's in Chicago. If it's in Atlantic City, pass. Wait till next year. Doug, what's up? Which park in STL, new or old? So where are we at on the Busch lineage? Are we on Busch 3? So I think I was at Busch 2. Well, I'll tell you exactly. I was there in 2001 or 2. So 2001 or 2002 is when I was at Busch Stadium. So whichever stadium that was, I think it was the middle Busch. If there's been 3, I was at the middle one. If there's only been 2, I guess I was at the new one. So 2001 or 2002 is the year I was at Busch Stadium. That's the last time I've been there. Speaking of card shows, Minnesota, April 20th to 23rd. I'll need business cards if you want. I did send you some in I think you bought a card from me this week. So I did throw some business cards in there for you. Let's see. Randy says, I found a $2,500 card in a dollar box this week. $2,500? No. Let's see. Henry says, I found a quarter card in a dollar box. That's kind of how it goes, right? Positive of a foot of snow yesterday is it wasn't on the previous the 18th card show day. Right. And that was, I didn't even realize that until at some point yesterday. It's like, the March Madison card show, everybody's like, oh, it's going up against Chicago. It's going to suck. And it wasn't. It was a great card show. Again, I made the most money as a dealer at any card show I've done in the last 2.5 years, about 50 card shows. And it was the best day for me as a seller. And it was the traffic was down. Dealers were down, but it was a great show. And if I didn't hold it on March 18th, there would not have been a Madison card show. And if I would have got the weekend I wanted yesterday, there would have been a foot of snow and it would have been a really shitty show. So it worked out in the end. So that's why I'm happy the April show is at the end of the month, because by April 29th, there shouldn't be any snowstorms. Although we did have, 5 years ago, we had 8 inches of snow on April 25th or 20th or 23rd, somewhere in the 20. I remember it was the third week of April, and we had 8 inches of snowfall. We were living in the last house we lived in, so that would have been 2015. Yeah, it would have been 2015. So, wow, 8 years ago. Almost 8 years ago. Let's see, where are we at? Minnesota cards. Are the shows in Madtown and Rockford worth the drive from Minneapolis? I would say yes. Now I'm biased because I set up at all the Rockford shows and I promote the Madison show, but I will tell you, I have a lot of people from Minnesota come to the Madison card show. So I have 125 tables. There's a mix of everything. There's bargain boxes. There's high end, shiny stuff. There's Pokemon if you're into that. But I would say, yes, it's definitely worth the drive. It's a one-day show, but I would say it's worth the drive. I have one of my dealers who's been consistently coming to the Madison card show and setting up. He's from Winona, Minnesota, is that on the border? I used to have a lot more Minnesota dealers come down, but that was because there were so few shows in Minnesota. And I think Minnesota has seen quite an uptick in shows in the last year to year and a half. So not getting as many dealers coming from Minnesota, but I do get a lot of Rochester area customers come into Madison. It's a great show. And I I think even for dealers, if you live in Minneapolis, in that area, and you want to set up, I think it's a great venue to set up because a lot of the buyer, it's right in the middle of Chicago and Minneapolis. Like, it's a little further to Minneapolis. Chicago's 2 hours, Minneapolis about 3 hours. But there's a lot of Chicago buyers. So, and Minneapolis dealers, unless they're set up at the Spectacular or the National, they're not setting up in Chicago. So you can still get those buyers, in 2 hours less of a drive setting up in Madison. So it's good for both. Plus the Chicago people like, oh, I don't see Minnesota dealers. Minnesota dealers don't see Chicago customers. You can get them here in Wisconsin. So yes, I am biased, but I do. And I don't know if anybody can attest who's been to the Madison Card Show, who's set up at the Madison Card Show. Is it worth? Actually, Randy's in the house. Randy's in the chat room. Randy drives from Champaign, and he's been to a couple Madison Card Shows. And Champaign's further than Minneapolis. Champaign's what, Randy? 4 hours? So Randy drives up from Champaign. I've had people drive in from Indianapolis, which is much further than Minneapolis. So I get a lot of consistent dealers from 3-4 hours away in Iowa. So yeah, so definitely worth the drive. Let's see where we at. Jenny says Madison from Indiana. Yes. Mr. Smith, there's 3 bushes. Okay, so I was in bush 2 is the bush that I was in. That's what she said. Merle says, if anyone still needs birthday gift ideas for me, I need a thermal printer. I'm tired of taping printed labels on packages and envelopes. Yes, I know that feeling. And boy, they've gone up. I bought my Brother QL 1100. I think I paid like $140 or $160 for it, and now they're like $300. So they've and I bought mine 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Jenny says, perfect. I got that envelope yesterday. Haven't opened it. There you go. Business cards are in there. Let's see. Herman, good morning. Donald Davis, good morning. First time viewer. Awesome. Welcome to the chat. Love it. Randy says, Otani, 1 of 1. It happened. Really? That is amazing. And I guess 1 of 1s, I'm guessing, was it a Panini? Or I guess there's some Topps products that have 1 of 1s that are kind of hard to see. But like Panini, like it's hard to, like, because it's in like that script 1 of 1. They're hard to tell. That's awesome. Randy, that may be the biggest. My biggest win was the $250 Ronald Acuna super short print. Merle wants to know where you are, mid-Minnesota. Mr. Smith, what are your best selling cards right now? Let's take a look at the eBay sales. Let's see. Wow, I've sold 16 cards since going live. So Junk Wax Rookies was actually rookies in general. I've got some offers. Wow, I've got a lot going on in my eBay store this morning. So some of the last things that have sold: Mark McGuire, rated rookie; Ivan Rodriguez, rookie; Deion Sanders, Frank Thomas, Bo Jackson, rated rookie; Randy Johnson, Fleer, rookie; Larry Walker, Sandy Alcantara, Manny Ramirez, rookie. Jordan Walker has been really hot the last couple days because he got called up. So Jordan Walker's on the opening day roster. Again, I'm baseball centric, so a lot of my sales are, plus this is also baseball time of year anyway. I did sell a couple football cards this morning. A Bobby Humphrey 89 Pro set. 89 Pro set, if you're doing volume listing, 89 Pro set is a hot seller. I mean, I'll sell, in fact, yesterday I shipped out a couple of commons, $1.50 each. Somebody bought 2 commons for $3, plus they had to pay tax on that. It was like Pete Metzelaars from the Buffalo Bills and Fred Smirlis. Easy money. I sold a bunch of John Smoltz cards overnight. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like Bowman stuff, and I think somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat. So Bowman, like minor league cards, Bowman cards, those are selling really well right now. Junk Wax rookies always sell. And of course, as long as they're priced right, they'll move. T206 Kid says, I think Louisville would be a great place for the National. Centrally located, we have Churchill Downs, Ali Museum, Slugger Museum, Louisville Bats, AAA team of the Reds, Bourbon, close airport. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have the venue? I think the kind of the biggest thing, do you have the space? Because I think we get lost in like, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, but that's not why we're there, right? I know it's nice to get away after the show and go to a baseball game. But at the end of the day, and I'm a little like, I live 2 hours from Chicago, so it's not like when I go to the National, I'm there for the National. Like, I don't need to go to a Cubs game. I don't need to go sightsee. Like, I've seen it. I don't need to do that. I guess if you're flying in from you've never been to Chicago, then maybe you want to take in some of the sights. But for me, I'm just going to the National. And I guess that's just, kind of a me thing. But I think even if I travel to Louisville for the National, like, it doesn't appeal. Like, sights don't appeal to me. If I'm going for a reason, I don't need to go to a baseball game or check out other things. Like when I go to Arizona for spring training, I'm like on the Sloan Park. Excuse me. I'm on the Sloan Park complex like for a week straight. The only time I leave is to go get food. I didn't even go to another ballpark this year. The other 2 times I've been to spring training. First year I went out to Surprise, which I'll never go out again. It's freaking way out there. And last year we went to see the Angels and Cubs because we're the group, John Maley, who's now back with the Cubs organization, which is awesome. Unfortunately, he's in AAA, but he was the Angels hitting coach last year, last couple years. And so we went to, we actually sat behind, he always comes to Club 400, so we know him. So we were there. We were the John Maley fan club. So I went to, Tempe Diablo for the Angels out there. So when I go out there, like I'm on a mission, and I know other people, like they want other things. But I think with the National, it's like there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, even like a small show that I promote, like there's a lot that goes into it. Like look at what I just talked about, like March 18th versus March 25th. Venue wasn't available. It worked out because if the venue was available, it would have been a bad show with a foot of snow on the ground. But venue availability, is it big enough? Does Louisville have a convention center that's big enough? And then the biggest key is once you find a venue that's big enough, is it cost effective? It could be an absurd amount of money. And then there's John, that 70s card show can get into like, is it union, and all that. So there's a lot that goes into, like, you can't just look on a map and say, hey, we want to go to this city. There's so much that goes into it. Mid-Minnesota's in Bloomington. Herman says, you told me that last year before I came up. I thought you were just trying to scare me. Nope. It happened. It really happened. 8 inches of snow on like April 20th or whatever day it was. It was in the April 20s on the calendar. I remember it's like, what the hell? Now it did melt like 2 days later, which I think, we got a foot of snow. When I went to bed 10 p.m. on Friday night, it was like no snow on the ground, not even a flurry in the air. When I woke up, there was already like 8 inches of snow on the ground. That's how much it snowed overnight. But it got into the 40s yesterday. A lot of it melted. I don't even think they didn't even bring out the snow plows, like for the side road. They did like the main roads, but like our neighborhood, like we didn't see a snow plow, and it was melted. Like the roads were completely clear and free of snow by early afternoon, because it just melted all the way, traffic and melting. Let's see. Merle thought you were further north. I'm in Apple Valley. Jenny says there's also some show review videos on Bo's channel here if you want to take a look at what you could expect. Yeah, actually, thank you, Jenny. I need to hire Jenny. She promotes better than I do. Take a look through my YouTube channel and just type in Madison Card Show. I'll do reviews. But I also, for a few months, I was doing like walkthrough videos. I would say watch those. because that'll give you an idea of what dealers. And you're not going to see that stuff every month because I have such a high turnover, which is good. I like having higher turnover. I have a lot of regular dealers, but then I also have a second tier of dealers that are not regulars that kind of are in and out, which I like already for April. And we're a month out, a little over a month out. I already have several first-time dealers that have committed for the April show. Let's see. One dealer, Adam, is setting up, and we got hooked up through the blowout. So that's, I love that. My buddy Mark's coming back for the first time in like 6 months. Randy's back for the first time in 6 months. Let's see. Benji's back for the first time in about 6 months. Greg hasn't set up in a few months. Joe's a first-time dealer. Shang's back. It's been a few months for him. Christopher's a first-time dealer. Let's see. Samantha's back for just the second time. Aaron's back for the first time in several months. Matt's back for just the second time. Brian Baker's back for the first time in several months. David's back after a month off. I think Josh is coming back after missing last month. So I actually like that. Having a big roster and maybe this guy can't set up this month, but he'll be back next month or in 3 months or 6 months. And I kind of like that. Where are we at? Brian says it sometimes snows in April by Prince. Henry says my sister is from Rochester, Minnesota. I call it Rachi. One of my best friends who pops in the chat every once in a while is from the Rochester area. And his wedding was in Rochester. And so for some reason, I think it was actually his bachelor party, I started calling it Rachi. And everybody from Rochester is like, nobody calls it that. I'm like, I'm going to call it that. No, we don't want you to call it Rachi. Let's see. I was at the Portland card show yesterday and was at a table when a guy asked if he could pay for a $25 card in quarters. The dealer turned him down and said he could take his quarters elsewhere. I would take $25 in quarters. I mean, it's not like it's worth any less. It's annoying, but it's not worth any less. That's funny. Henry missed the Portland show. John says I've driven on Champagne. We do not advise that. Madison was definitely worth the flight north. Take it from Herman. He flew in from Georgia. So there you go. It's worth the trip. Brian says it's snowing here now in Omaha. Headed your way. I think I did hear we're supposed to get some more snow Monday, but it's supposed to be warm the next several days. So hopefully that stays true. Where are we at? Wow. I'm up to 57 eBay notifications. So something's selling on eBay right now. 50% chance of snow today, high of 38, 41 on Monday, but we're going to be in the 50s by Friday. So take it. Doug says, grew up in St. Louis, never heard anyone call Sportsman's Busch 1 in my life. Only 2 Busch stadiums, Memorial and the current. Sportsman's had both Browns and Cards. I thought Busch 1 opened in 66? I thought there's been 3 Bushes. Now I've got to look this up. Wasn't there a new Busch just built? 2006. Yeah, 2006. So I was at the previous Busch. But I thought that was Busch 2. Let's see. Busch Stadium. Where's the history? Busch Stadium. For the stadium in St. Louis that operated from 1966 to 2000. Oh, there is only 2 Bushes. Oh, wait, no. Busch Stadium, 53 to 66. See Sportsman's Park, not to be confused with another Busch Stadium. So they do refer to this one as Busch 3. At least Wikipedia does. So they do call Sportsman's Park Busch 1. Let's see. Rich Klein says my biggest win was a 1968 Mike McCormick white letter card. I wouldn't even know what that is. I ended up splitting the sale. He got the card graded and did the work with the dealer. Very nice. Randy says I'm 5 hours from Madison, and yes, it is worth the trip. 5 hours. Love it. Beats all the Illinois shows except for the Spectacular and the National. The Ohtani 1 of 1 was the 2020 commemorative coin card. Interesting. That is pretty cool. Herman says, I missed an Angels team card 1 of 1 with Ohtani and Trout on it until I went to binder my 2019 top set. That is freaking cool. Mr. Smith, I've sold lots of Ezekiel Duran rookies from Series 1. He's on the Rangers opening day roster. I wonder if, now that you mention that, I think I have sold some Durans. And let's see what has sold. Holy moly. Let's see. A lot of random stuff just sold. Let's see. Come on. Duran. There we go. Duran. Was he in or this year's? Jaron Duran. I guess I haven't. So, for venues for Louisville, we have 2 huge expo centers. John says Chicago National site near 0 tourist attractions. No one is there to smell the local flowers. Let's see. Unless you count O'Hare as a tourist attraction. Does Louisville have enough hotel rooms for the show? That's kind of another question. When I went to the Sabre convention there in the 90s, the venue was nice, but there were not enough hotel rooms, if I recall, for a really big event. Victor says, I'll look for a restaurant near Rosemont for a get-together dinner for the National. Victor, I love it. Let's do a Couch People, Hobby Evolution Couch People soiree get-together. There's a lot of there's what I'm thinking of. I don't think there's not any room for like a breakout dinner. It's down the street. It's a micro brewery, but they have really good food. But I don't think they have reservations, and it's just kind of a free for all. Let's see. John says most people have zero understanding of logistics for the National. With that said, there are plenty of places they should explore. I'm in Maple Grove. Looks like Minnesota is well represented. Awesome. John G, what's up? I'm really hoping to get to the next Madison show with my daughter. She loves looking at all the Pokemon. You know, it's a really popular Pokemon show. I have about 10 dealers, 10 to 12 Pokemon dealers. So there's enough dealers for there's plenty of product for Pokemon collectors. And my Pokemon dealers do really good. And I think the word's getting out because I get more and more. And I think some of my friends are thinking of promoting a Pokemon only show in the area. So I think that would do really well. Let's see. Brian says the weird thing about that song, he passed on April 21st. All About Comics says, so tired. Oh, yeah, Prince. All About Comics says, so tired of snow. My first winter back in Sioux Falls has not been fun. Ugh. I love Sioux Falls. Let's see. David Mercer, what's up? Mr. Smith, I thought there was 3 bushes too. I sold some Duran as well yesterday. Why? Apparently he made the opening day roster. Duran's in this year's Series 1. Oh, okay. Well, he'd be in my quarter boxes because he was not a rookie that I pulled, and everybody else went in the quarter boxes. So maybe you'll find Duran rookie in the quarter box in a couple weeks in Rockford. Harlan says, shouldn't the meetup be at a gas station for some quality pizza? Victor, find the nearest Casey's. I think we actually looked up the nearest Casey's from Rosemont a while back. Mr. Smith says he's having a great spring and made opening day roster, talking about Ezekiel Duran. Speaking of Pokemon, why are you coming to Dallas for a Pokemon show? I am coming to Dallas for the Collecticon, which is a large Pokemon type show. I will give further details. I'm not ready to spill the beans just quite yet, but I will share that information eventually before May 6th. John says they're really good to the kids too. We bought $5 in cards, and one dude gave my daughter a Charizard card. Very nice. Talking Tatis says the Sealbach Hotel is awesome. I stayed there in AAA. And one time the Grateful Dead was staying there, and I met 3 of them in the elevator. Oh, that's awesome. I think Louisville could now handle a natty. It would be okay. I think Louisville's grown quite a bit, hasn't it, in the last 20, 30 years? Is Bo going to dress up as Pikachu in Dallas? No! I'm not the Easter Bunny, and I'm not Pikachu. I wanted to share some. Topps Big League has a checklist out, which just kind of like randomly popped up. There's been a lot of like anger about a specific insert set that's in Topps Big League. And I don't know why. There are, it's very, Topps Big League is kind of going almost interactive, which I think is really cool. It's not bad. It's just, if you don't like it, and I get it. I get if you don't like it. It's okay. You're like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about Topps Big League released their checklist. By the way, I'm looking at Beckett.com and follow along here. Here's the link in the chat to the checklist for 2023 Topps Big League. I'm seeing there's an insert set called 8-Bit Ballers, and there's a Bo Jackson auto that looks freaking cool, like Nintendo Bo Jackson. Very cool. So let's see. So we've got the base set checklist. Where are we at? Uncommon rainbow foil. Oh, there's our Ezekiel. Oh, did I say Ezekiel Duran? Is it Tovar? Let's see. Super rare red foil. Well, crap. Where's the so that's the base. Oh, maybe inserts. So we got 8-Bit Ballers, City Slickers, Game Day Drip. That's fun. Hobby Influencer Child Short Prints Checklist. Now, these are short prints and it's an insert. And people are up in arms because influencers have cards in this set. Aaron Nowak of Slab Stocks, Jeff Wilson, Sports Card Investor, Ryan Johnson, Card Collector 2, Stephanie Garcia, Mama Breaks, and Tim McInerney from Slabstrung. There's 5 freaking cards. They're short prints. Why do people care? It's not like they're in the base checklist. It's not like they're taking out a Major League Baseball player. If you don't like them, that's okay. The thing is, most of the people that are complaining about these don't even buy Topps Big League. So all of these people are up in arms over something just silly. I think it's cool. And it's genius why Topps/Fanatics is doing it, because those 5 influencers have big followings. And guess what? When they say, look at my card, their followers will want to buy Topps Big League. Why do you think Allen and Ginter went to influencer-based cards as opposed to dead presidents? Because dead presidents can't influence a product. But Gary V can, and does, and did. Same with Dave Portnoy and Barstool. So it's genius. Remember, Topps/Fanatics, they are a business. They're not printing free cards for us collectors. They're there to make money. Frito Dorito, what's up? The snozberries taste like snozberries. Chris says, I would have taken the $25 in quarters too. This guy was kind of sketchy. I think his quarters were in a Crown Royal bag. It's a mall show in downtown Portland. Harlan says, isn't it about time for Topps' biggest announcement of the generation? It is, and it will likely happen in the next coming days, because they'll make the announcement at the Mint Collective, which is coming up in Las Vegas. I believe it starts Wednesday or Thursday. So that's when we'll have that big announcement. So AAA team in Louisville, and I think it's going to be LeBron James signs his, I think his contract is coming up with Upper Deck. Topps Fanatics has already signed Bronny James. And I think LeBron Daddy is coming with. AAA team in Louisville used to be in the American Association before minor league realignment. Was an umpire in the minors for 12 years. That's awesome. Very cool. Henry says, but that insert set could be like the dumb egg card. People pay $1 billion for it. Burn every Jeff Wilson card. I think there could have been a better selection of the influencers. My only complaint. And that's just kind of, I think we all have our own opinions, like who we would want. I think you just have to accept it. I'm taking my yearly exam for umpiring high school baseball today. Excellent. Brian says, I'm still waiting on a 1 million Cubs, Allen, and Ginter card. They're probably waiting until I hit 1 million cards. I'm only 882,000 Cubs project right now. Bo Bichette, not a Dodger. Herman says, I'll be needing the Freeman City Slicker card from Big League. Merle says, Bo won't get his card until he hits 1 million. Even then, I doubt Topps is going to make a baseball card of 1 million Cubs. By the way, for those who may have not watched Hobby Hotline yesterday, Bo's comment about Topps' brilliant idea spurred a great chat yesterday. It was good. It was great. Thank you, Uncle Rich, for name dropping me. Good show yesterday. The OGs from Hobby Hotline, Uncle Rich, Drew, and Logan were on the show. Huck's Sports Cards, what's up? Good morning to you. Talking Tatis is in Bend. Very cool. So yeah, Topps Big League. I think it's a cool idea. If they were in the base set, I think that's overboard, but it's also Topps Big League. Like, it's not like it's Series 1. It's not a main product. If there's a blaster of Topps Big League on the shelf, I'll probably buy like a blaster, but I'm not going to go buy, a whole bunch of it. By the way, I went to Walmart yesterday. I did put my order in I ordered like 5,000 envelopes, but they won't be delivered until I think Tuesday. So I had to go to Walmart yesterday, which was on my way to the post office anyway. And they had Bowman U blasters, and I didn't buy any. It's like I'm kind of on a spending freeze at the moment. So outside of a few Cubs cards I've picked up. Terry says, I want my Uncle Rich and Dr. Jim combo card. That would be fun. You could get it autographed at the Singles Club at the National. Yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone right there at the Singles Club. Rich says, would have gone to Walmart yesterday, but one of the local card shops had a trade day in his store. There you go, Uncle Rich. Walmart's not hosting trade days, are they? No. Local card shops do. My wife, inside joke, unless you watched Hobby Hotline yesterday. John G, my wife bought me a fat pack of Big League last year, and I hit an auto in it, no name player, but still cool for $6 or $7. Absolutely. I love Topps Big League. Way more than I like Topps opening day. And they did scrap opening day, but I thought Big League was a cool product. If Ken Golden got a card, I would be pissed if it didn't grade a 10 could sell on Golden. There was a Dr. Beckett Uncle Rich card in the Hobby Hotline set last year. There you go. So that's what I had for today. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Bowman U Blasters were $19.99. Oh, excellent. So they didn't rise to $25. I like that. Back live tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. Let's wrap it up. So that's all I had for today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, have a great Sunday, and we'll talk tomorrow.